Join your palms. Close your eyes. Draw your attention in. Begin the process of connecting to yourself. Breath to body, breath to thought, body to breath, body to thought. Connect. And bow to this practice. Release your hands. Raise your head and open your eyes. Stretch your legs. Let's see. How's your back, Chaya?
Doing good. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't have any pain. No pain.
All right. Let's keep it that way. So take away your blankets and begin with Adho Mukha Virasana. Now, I want you to put space in your spine. So in Adho Mukha Virasana, make a point of evening this extension through the whole spine. So you see, I'm taking my time so I can pull out the lumbar spine away from, coax it away from the sacrum. Now, there's this pose where your hips come up and your hands crawl forward. So your hips hang back like a traction away from the hands. So I say take any and all methods. So Leanne, look at this shape I'm in. If you're in Adho Mukha Virasana, that's like you with the spine round. So if I come forward,
yeah,
I can get that lumbar spine open. The hamstrings relax. So I can be very passive with the lower body. Hang it, yes. Stretch your arms, grip your fingers, lengthen that spine. Connect it to your breath. Imprint those sensations, so to speak, and then come up to Adho Mukha Svanasana, just up on the hands and knees. And in the very same way, raise your heels, stretch the legs straight, raise the heels in order to open that spine the same way. Lengthen back. Stretch the legs from the inner foot, right? So there's big toe, second toe, base joint. You can't roll out. You have to activate a straight leg and pull up to the outer hip. Stay up the inner foot, lift the outer hip to the ceiling and stretch that spine. As you go back through the heels, thighs, you only increase or preserve that spinal length. Don't let it shrink. and come out. Now, rest a second, then come up and be as you would be for standing poses, except we have a standing pose variation that involves being able to hang, if you see this, off a door frame. Do y'all have an available door frame? Okay, even if it's not in camera range. See, Leanne, if those are folding doors, you may be able to get some sliding room.
I could go over here. I could go over here, I think. Let's see.
If you've got a door, take a door.
Yeah.
But you need it for both sides. But watch, I'm not sure that'll work for you.
Okay.
Have a look.
Okay.
We're gonna come around in front. We have another pose to do first. That's just one of the poses I'm trying to see ahead for. Here's a chair. All of you can use a chair. If you had two, it doesn't matter, use one. So Trikonasana. The wall behind me doesn't have to be there. This is, it's the chair that matters. So the way get set up with the chair to your right side. Take feet apart. Turn that chair seat to face you. Okay. With those feet apart, press the outer foot, outer heel. Keep the big toe, second toe, base joint down. So don't just think of the big toe. Think of this inner foot, outer heel. Come up through that outer calf to the hip. Stretch your arms. Only turn the right leg. Now, raise this arm and fully stretch the right side. Reach the left arm back. Keep it horizontally stretching as you bend from the hips. Push into your back heel. Pull back with the back hand and reach forward until your hand, I have to move, comes to the top of the chair. Top arm, horizontal. Now pull that shoulder back. Reach the right side forward. Stretch your right thigh back. Right buttock back. And if you go far enough, take all the way through the leg so your hand comes down. Take the weight to your ankle. Stretch your top arm. Roll that shoulder and stretch it up. Open, open. Now, come up, pull from back foot, back arm, inhaling, come up. So this is an effort to keep the sides of the trunk long, not let things shrink. So if you had two chairs, you just pulled your second chair in, or you move your first, either way. Feet wide. Stretch your arms. Right foot parallel. Big toe, second toe pressing, outer heel pressing, outer thigh tucked. Turn the left leg. Pull the right arm back. Press the right heel. Raise the left arm. Super stretch that left side. Partly the stretch comes up. Partly also this stretch is going back where this hip socket is going. Bend from that hip socket. Stretch the leg away from the foot. Foot away from leg. Hip away from arm. Arm away from hip. Stretch both legs, both arms. Keep the weight on that back leg. Hand comes down. If your elbow comes to the chair seat, you can pull your trunk more long. If the hips could give you more space, do you see what I just did? I walked my back heel back an inch, and that gives me more rotation. Now, hand to the ankle and the arm up, and spread and extend. Keep that back thigh back and pushing to the heel. Keep the second toe, big toe on the floor. This is not an easy thing for some of us to organize the toes. Now, come up, pull, back foot, back arm. Turn the feet. Bring the feet together. Now, this is where you need, it isn't just the ability to hang off the door, but it's the ability to hang Pashimo Tanatsana off the door. So first you're actually gonna hang that back leg off the door. And you don't see this, but I've got my top hand just resting on a chair so I can, it's like this. Imagine, oh, maybe this will work. If this were the door, it's too far away, but if this were the door, I'd be hanging, and this hand would push to keep me on my side instead of dropping down into a forward bend. It keeps me on my side. A chair in front to keep me on my side. Hang off the door. It's easier to put your hand palm on the door and then go to the other side of the door so your palm grips. But hang. So you put your foot, let's say, a little less than an arm's length from the wall. Bend your hips back and stretch your leg back. Hang your back heel back. Come out, change sides. Hang back. It's not a split, it's Pashimo Tanatsana. Here, without the chair, the knee bends. I'm hanging this hip away from this hand. Hang. Then come out and turn around and hang your hip socket. Bend your knee, hang that left hip socket off the door frame. Hang it. So instead of stretching actively, you're hanging passively that hip. Then hang on, come up. Chaya, do you not have a door? You need something very solid to hang from. That's okay, but it's better to be able to pull instead of just rest on top. So watch, the top arm has to do this stretch too. The top side of the body has to hang too. So Leanne, you very flexible person, don't set up your back leg first. Watch this, I'm facing away from the camera. It's the top arm that has to do this hang. Now, I have a brick, wherever it's comfortable, I'm gonna put it in front just so you see more clearly the back. Here is Pashimo Tanatsana. Top arm goes to the wall. It's just touching, okay, great. Now, my back heel comes up, keep watching. Back heel comes up, I get where I can hook my fingers through the door. Do you see? I advanced myself, and now I'm gonna hang my top body toward my heel. This is an intense stretch. Hang your top body, top arm from the door. How is it, Leanne, working behind you?
Yeah, I got it now. Yeah.
Okay, so bottom arm, bottom right hand goes down onto the brick. Your right hand and your right knee bends. Nope, you gotta stay lined up with the door. That's right. That's okay, Chaya. Now come off your back heel, advance the top arm forward, pin it in place. That's why you hang from the door, and stretch your heel back, stretch your spine back. Now you already stretched the lower arm side, so keep that happening as you add the top side. Then come out. Did that work at all, or did I just confuse you with doorways? And
I got it finally.
I thought it was good.
okay,
Yeah.
now you have to change sides. So I hope the confusion is cleared up. Left foot forward, left knee bends, and you take your left hand down to Pashimo Tanatsana. And in that Pashimo Tanatsana, left hand down, Leanne, left hand down, either in front of or behind your knee. It's your happiness there. Top arm goes overhead, then you raise your right heel, and that advances all of you forward. So catch farther forward, hold that hand there, pin it to something, and stretch your heel away from that. So the whole right side lengthens. You can target your lumbars, ribs, sacrum, hip socket. You can target what you need to open. Now come up. You see, my point is to make the sides of you stretch and spread. So then here's a chair. I'm gonna take props off the chair and turn it toward the camera. I think I have to go this way because this is your right side. So watch what I do. My right thigh is going to bend parallel to this chair. And my back heel, if you see it, is staying on the floor. It's not coming up. It's trying to stay on the floor. Now, raise that heel and make sure that you stay on the big toe side of it instead of letting your heel roll out. Keep your heel in, stay on that big toe. Okay, so the heel is up, the leg is straight, front knee bends. You come over to that chair seat with your opposite hand and push on that chair. Your hip stays against the chair. That outer hip is against the side of the chair. And you turn your pelvis. Take a twist. Turn. Turn. Pull with that forearm. It's your outer right knee. Come up. Everybody, come up. Watch. Side two. Just see how this goes. This is your left leg. Looks like mine, and it is mine, but the way these cameras work, it's your left side. So this side of you runs parallel to that chair seat. Your back heel is up, but you're on the big toes. So I'm not actually sitting on the chair. Okay, I'm against it. And you cross over and hold on to that chair. Stretch your back leg. Don't let the knee bend and turn. See it, Leanne? You got to turn the chair and put the chair seat against your outer thigh. Turn the chair seat to face the camera. Okay. Now bring it back towards your hip. Make sure it touches the knee to hip. If you have long thighs, you just average it out. Now you can keep your inner heel on the floor. Turn toward the chair. Parivrita. Take your left elbow. Left hand holds that chair seat. Pull it toward you. Hug your hip with the chair. Chair with hip. Turn your ribs. Keep that knee bent so the thigh runs parallel to the chair. Come out. You have lots of chair support, even without it being under the thigh. Are you okay, Chaya? Good. Side two.
We just did side two.
Yeah, except Leanne didn't.
Oh.
Yes. Now don't lower that hip. The thing about the chair is it keeps you from raising or lowering your hip innocently. If you do it, you know it. It's easy to unbend that knee. Okay. Now stretch your back leg, Leanne. Raise that back inner thigh. Don't drop the hip anymore. Good. Now we have to stretch the top arm. So hang on. Come on out, Leanne. So I go this way. So, because you know what's happening. So you can see this thigh is going toward horizontal. Even if it's slightly above chair level, I'm measuring it. I know where I am at the knees, so I know where to go in the hip. Now I cross over quite a bit and I push this thigh down, not onto the chair, it's not on the chair, but in order to roll my trunk up and turn. I am turning to get this shoulder on top of this shoulder. So if you see it from the right side, I am not turned on a tilt. I am turned with one shoulder on top of the other. Then either if your shoulder is happy, it goes overhead, straight. If it is not happy, it goes bent. Go. Right knee forward. Bend that right knee so your thigh is running parallel to the chair. Keep your shin, right shin close to vertical. Stretch. Now roll that top shoulder. Spend time, Gay, with just turning those ribs. Yes. Take your right hand to your hip. Lift your chest. Bring your chest and head in line with your back leg. Don't look back. Now stretch the shoulders. Then stretch your right arm up to the ceiling. Way up to the ceiling. Open your chest. Then take it overhead. Yes. And then come out. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's even though you get the chair support, it's still a load of work. Side 2. It's spring. Got to get your legs working. Side 2. So bring this thigh down parallel to the chair. It's parallel in 2 dimensions, parallel to the, let's say, to the floor, as well as to the chair. Raise that back heel, turn, cross over, turn, hold the chair seat, hug it with your hip, and bring yourself in line with your back leg and turn. Don't curl over the chair. Uncurl. Lower that left hip, that bent, not Leanne, everybody else, and turn, head back. Then when that left shoulder gets on top of the right, stretch the left arm vertically up to the ceiling and expand way up to the ceiling. If that is too much, just stay there and extend and turn. If this part comes, then take the arm overhead, head back. Don't sink the hip, Leanne. Lift your back leg thigh, arm overhead. Good, Gay, that was great. And come out. So is the limitation, Chaya, in the low back? Because the arm in the leg, okay. But it's just muscular. You're doing okay. Is your spine happy? All right. Okay. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now you just do this to untwist. And let's say this, keep your lines in your body parallel. Don't take your hands wide or your feet wide. Don't take them narrow. Keep your lines parallel. Stay on that big toe, second toe. Pull up that outer thigh to the hip. Stay on the thumb and the index finger in your palm. Engage the outer arm to the inner to reinforce that. And pull up that arm bone into the shoulder socket. Roll it in. Soft throat, soft groins. Firm outer hips, firm outer shoulders. Release, come out. Now, do you all do a form of headstand? Yes. 1, 2. Chaya, do you do a form of headstand?
I do preparation. No, headstand preparation. Preparation.
Okay. Yes. So let's see. Then you do that, but you, in your preparation, there will be the legs doing asymmetrical things like this, like raising up. So don't be on the head, be vertical in the upper arm. This humerus bone stays vertical. It does not push back like dog pose. It stays vertical and it doesn't come forward to put you on your head. It's right there. It's really a position where it's easy to be strong and stable. So from here, you stretch and raise that leg straight and, go through those big toes. Stretch those legs. So I don't care if you go into a giant back bend and Natarajasana upside down or Hanumanasana, none of that stuff. Just stretch your legs and keep your upper arms vertical and be stable. Now, for those doing Shirshasana, have a look, Gay. Not gonna take too much trouble setting this up, but watch. I'm gonna set my headstand. This is where my head goes, needs to be about a foot from the wall. And I'm taking my headstand facing sideways to the wall. So look, if you need a wall behind you, Gay, close the door and use that corner. So you have a wall to your side and a wall behind you. So watch. I'm gonna do Shirshasana at the end. You've got a wall beside you, even if you don't have one behind you. So you go up, you take your Shirshasana, and after a few minutes, you will bend your knees to Virasana. And after a bit, you'll take one leg to the wall, the close foot to the wall. Then you take the far foot to the close foot. Doesn't have to go to the wall. Just got to find the other foot. Keep your knees together and push your knees up if you see it, it's going to make you twist a bit. It's just going to pull you into an extension. Then you come out and you stretch up and you get even before you come out and turn around, which for gate means you just turn into the other side of the corner. Does that make sense? Instead of being here, you just go here. So when you go into your headstand, this foot has a wall behind you for support, right? So you can use the corner. Leanne, you just need a wall that runs parallel to you. You just need a wall. You don't need a corner. I'm not using that wall behind me. I'm just going up into headstand.
Oh,
When I take the prop,
okay.
it's just the wall beside me.
Yeah.
See it?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay. So put the wall to your, in theory, right side first, but I don't care. That you have to get Shirshasana first, Gay. And I put myself away, Gay. Come out. I think you need to be a bit further from the wall. Leanne, come out. Turn so your right side is to the wall.
You know what, Devon? Just now, I think I woke up with a little bit of a stiff neck. So I think
All right.
I'm going to do the prep thing right now for today.
All right, then.
Yeah, I just
Very
felt
good.
it when I.
All right, Leanne, we're gonna back off from this. It's, or Gay, sorry. You've got to be gay if you're going to do this. Your right side needs to be about a foot away from the wall. Join those palms, Leanne.
Oh, yeah?
Interlock, yes.
Okay.
Like headstand.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't put your head down.
Gotcha.
I mean, like
Keep
this,
the upper arms.
not far enough away.
Your right side of you needs to be 12 inches from the wall. Furthermore, Gay, your head needs to be a little bit farther from the wall. So move your blanket away from the wall behind you as well.
Okay.
12 inches either way. That means when you go up in headstand, your top foot, your knee will bend for your feet to touch the wall. You're a bit farther. Don't let your head down, Leanne. Bend your, okay. Then Gay, bend your knees, toes down. You see, now you've got to move your right foot to the wall. That's a bit far. I think your head is farther than 12 inches. Your knees are turned. Your knees have to go up, up, up. What is up? Where is up? Up.
Am I going the wrong
Lift.
way?
Your knees are going down. I think you're, come out to all the way, please.
I don't know what's up and down.
Yes, I know. This is very hard to teach. It's like twisting poses.
Yeah.
It's hard to know left from right and then upside down is worse. So my apologies for attempting this, especially when there's only one of you who's trying it. So enough of this. I hope your neck is okay.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's okay. It's just, I kind of messed it up yesterday and it kind of is a little wonky today, so.
What was up? Towards the floor or towards the ceiling?
Ceiling,
Okay.
ceiling.
Okay.
I have to either not teach this or teach it again much more carefully. Not sure how, but it's I can see it's hard to, you know, get everybody oriented the same way when it's.
I'm sorry, that I understood what you were talking about. Once you start just doing it as a regular headstand, not in the corner. I got confused when you started in the corner, that's all. Yeah.
Because I'm talking to people who need a corner,
Yeah.
as well as people who don't need a corner.
Yeah, but I got it finally.
But we had a similar confusion with the Parshvakonasana and
Yeah.
Parivrtta and its twists.
Yeah.
And I'm after twist this week, and I did get you into some twisting. So that's good. Let's keep going. Please take dog pose just to undo any potential negativities from that odd headstand variation.
Hey, Devon, I want to tell
Yes.
you too that, you know, this trick you showed me with rolling up the rope and putting
Oh.
it, you know, for my thumb. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
When I kept slipping on it before, but when I put it under my sticky mat like that,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah.
Excellento. So all right, come out then. And for better or worse, I'm sticking with twists. Okay, so you probably need some bricks and blankets. And I'm gonna say chairs even might be in order. One chair. And if you have that chair, it goes behind you. So if I'm facing the chair, goes behind me. Now the blankets, I can't tell you what you're going to use, but this first pose is Virasana. After doing all those standing pose twists, I'm going to say that I think this seated twist is safe. Now, you need to sit. Here's the rule for people with low back pain. You have to sit high enough that this pelvis is quite level, truly level. And since it's Virasana, one foot, your right foot, is going to be in Swastikasana. Your left foot, right leg, Swastikasana, left leg, Virasana. And in this position, hips level, not just Dandasana, but in this asymmetrical. If you do not have back pain, then another rule, you might say, applies. You don't have to have the pelvis level. The nature of the pose in its fullest form is a bit crooked. This maybe not as crooked as mine looks, but this thigh has to be over this ankle. It's not going to go to the ground. So something about this side has to be up all the time. So it's by nature an asymmetrical pose. Therefore, in a healthy person, it can't be a rule that the hips be level. But in a troubled spine, it's a really helpful place to start. So you come up high enough that your back, not just buttock bones, but the top pelvis and the waist, this soft place, feels equal, level, not bunched and puffed on like a little donut roll on one side. Now, that support, now that I'm facing forward, that chair would be behind you. And if you didn't have a chair, what you'd have is a brick that's high enough for you to bend your elbow and lift your side ribs, lift your armpit. So not the floor, which would pull things down. Okay. So yeah, if you're using there, the chair is up to the side, you can bend your elbow, but bend it backwards a little bit so it's not higher than your shoulder. And turn, pelvis level. If your back bothers you, do not pursue that. Stay away and come up tall. Come on out after that big explanation and change sides. Legs straight. And it may be that on one side of your pose, your hips need one height. And on the other side of the pose, they need a different height. It could also be for the knees that you need a height. That's going to absolutely affect what your back feels like. So see that you are level. And turn. So I'm not making you work super hard at this. This is observation. Keep that shoulder back, lift your ribs up, turn your rib cage. Turn those ribs. And come out. Now, again, thinking in terms of keeping this low back stable and safe, and actually doing what close to what the pose is asking for. You need to ground the hips, make lots of height through the trunk. Keep this the hips, the pelvis, and this lumbar spine zone. And I'm talking about the bones stable. And it is this rib cage that revolves. So this hip, the one the cat is hiding, this hip, this low back stays kind of coming toward you, stay stable toward you as the ribs turn in the twist. Lift those ribs, Gay. Lift those ribs, and the higher more space you put in between the ribs, the more they may turn. And come out. Lower the right shoulder. Come out, change sides. So watch. And feet to the right. So watch this. You don't want your shoulders tilted in your twist. So this might feel good, but I don't like this line across the shoulders. That chair could come back, and you see how that makes room for that shoulder to come down. This hand shouldn't go toward the floor. Pull yourself up with it. Take this elbow. See, it's a bent elbow. Take it down. Take this shoulder blade down so the chest comes up. Keep your pelvis stable. Turn the ribs. So make it a happy shoulder. And reach that elbow wide. And lift the chest up. Rotate the ribs. Chaya, you need to turn, I'm not sure where your feet are, but you turn away from your feet. Always turn away from your feet. Yes. Okay. And keep, especially with spinal issues, low back, pelvic spinal issues, keep that stable. So the benefit of this Virasana pose is that it increases the space in the lumbar region, but it's not a deep lumbar twist. The lumbar doesn't twist. Don't try to make it twist. The muscles move, the organs move, but keep the bones stable. Come out. So if you will wrap those arms, the stages, I guess I'll show from here, the stages, and I don't recommend these stages to everybody because when you turn and this shoulder, these ribs don't go far, you have to make the ribs move, or else you're just making your shoulder do all the work, okay? And there's no twist. So part one is to pick up where we left off. Part two of the class is to take this hand to your Virasana foot and pull up on the foot and push down on your hand. Pull up and back. You see how that's pulling that shoulder back. And my foot comes down and it lifts my chest up and I turn. Okay. Roll that right shoulder back. Some of you are turning right. All of you are turning right. So, nope. Come out, change sides. You just change sides, that's fine, we end. Just change sides. Come out, change sides. Look, you're always turning away from your feet, yes? That's Parachasana. So it doesn't matter. There's the hand that's wrapping around to catch that foot. We're calling that the back hand, the back shoulder, the one that's reaching around to catch the Virasana foot. That back hand, that back shoulder has to roll back, get behind you, and pull. The elbow bends, pulling up on the foot, and the foot fights back down to the floor. And that reinforces an open chest. That connection foot to hand. And buttocks down, stable, turn the ribs. And come out. Are you okay? Let's do a different pose just for fun and maybe benefit. I don't think you'll need a chair. You might need a blanket or two underneath your hips. You might. If you're flexible, Leanne, you probably don't. Nor do I think you'll need straps. If you're flexible, you see, watch. Now this is a twist, so don't get confused. I say that. Okay, you're gonna have one bent leg. This is an Ardha Matsyendrasana variant, the second one. So if all goes well, this foot goes to Ardha Padmasana with the foot on top of the other thigh. If your knee or hip won't do that, you go to Janu Shirshasana. Okay, so that's what your right leg does. A strap goes around your right foot, the Padmasana ankle. Now go carefully, Chaya. It goes over the right hip. It goes around your ankle in your Padmasana, and it goes back over its own thigh and behind you. Okay, behind you. Now, right leg, left hand catches that strap, goes around behind me. This is my arm reaching behind me, left hand to catch that right hand strap. So you see, I'm twisting toward my straight leg already. So reach around, catch up close to that shin bone, and then turn and face straight forward. If your knee is up in the air and hurts you, it needs to come down to Janu Shirshasana. So the knee is soft, relaxed. If there is any pressure in that knee, if that knee can't go down, you gotta take steps. Take the free arm up, way up, and then reach forward and catch your foot. So you're tilted toward your straight leg. Pull against it, lift your trunk. Pull with this back arm and turn toward your straight leg. lift your chest, roll that back shoulder, straight leg shoulder backwards, roll it away from the camera. Yes, Chaya. Face your chest to the side and lift your chest. Don't go forward, go long, both sides of the trunk long, and then come out. This pose makes me very happy.
That's good.
Stretch both legs. I don't know if it makes you happy. But it's a twist that gives me a lot of relief. I don't know how to put it. That's the way to put it. So now it's the right leg that remains straight. And the belt is going to go around your left ankle. And you be as careful as you need to be to bring that foot to Janu Shirshasana or Ardha Padmasana. And that strap that was on the ankle goes over its own hip. Left ankle strap, left hip strap, and your right arm comes around and catches it and walks around, and you face forward. This is like an untwist. Then the free arm goes up, both legs stretch down, super tall through that uplifted arm, go forward to catch your foot. As you do, you begin the twisting. And instead of going down towards your foot like Janu Shirshasana, go forward and up, lengthen that trunk, bend the back elbow, turn those ribs. So if your shoulder is sticky, walk out on the strap so it's a straight arm. This will make it easier on if there is an injury in the shoulders that keeps you, walk out on that strap. Stretch your arms straight and spread, and then come out. So you feel that, Leanne, if you gave yourself a longer, the other way to do it is put a chair behind you and put your hand on that chair seat and lift your chest. That becomes another pleasant pose. Come out, stretch both legs straight. Now, let's see. Again, this is all things being equal in the spine. Take Pashimo Tanatsana. All things not being equal in the spine. Line your back with your knees apart, hip width, and fold it in so your back can be stable. So Pashimo Tanatsana is what we would do classically. There is, of course, support for the head. So this breathing pattern that you have here in this pose should be felt as helping this low back, waist, pelvis, ribs to spread. Breathe across the back. So as the moments pass, you may be able to feel your asymmetries a little bit. Right side, left side feels, breathes differently, muscles stretch differently. Be mindful of trying to breathe evenly. Then come up slowly. And lie on your back with a brick handy. You could certainly put your shoulders and head on a blanket. You're going to move slowly toward Chatuch Padasana. So if you see this, my shoulders, neck, and head are all on one surface. And my hips come up. You see this? I'm not going far. And I go again. And maybe the third time, the hips will come onto a brick. So you want to be active the first few moments of this lift. Keep those shoulders on that blanket, Leanne, more important than the head. So if your blanket is a little bit small, just make sure the shoulders are on. And the head off. It should not be the reverse. That's all. It should not be head on, shoulders off. Okay, so last time up, bring the hips onto a brick. Tall brick if possible. Or 2 flat bricks, but some amount of height. Keep the buttocks released broadly. So if for some reason, and it happens frequently, people do this, you squeezed your buttocks while raising your hips, that's a logical thing to do. Sometimes when you land the buttocks on the brick, the skin and the muscle is still folded in that contraction. So when you relax, the flesh doesn't release all the way, it stays folded. So unfold any muscle or skin folds and relax across the sacrum and buttocks. Lift the ribs. Relax the throat. Relax the abdomen. Expand the ribs. And as Pashimo Tanatsana, the previous pose, spread the back. Now, Chaya, is it possible for you to stretch your legs out straighter and not have back pain? Good. Keep your chest lifted. I like this pose better than the bent knee form. If the brick is very high, it can be problematic. But if you're nice and flexible, like Leanne, might be pleasant. Is that pleasant?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes,
Keep it then. If straight legs works, keep it.
Great.
Well, this means to me that whatever complications we had from all those twisting poses and disorientations, we still got some good and out of the stretches. Okay, we have 1 minute left. So you can come out of this pose or you can stay, and but just know our class time is coming to an end. Release your spine down and adjust that blanket so it is under your head, not your shoulders.
Partner, I hear you.
So one thing that twists make us do is cause the 2 sides of the body to interact with each other in non-habit ways. Habitual postural things involve like always being right-handed or dominant-handed about certain things. And that leads our spines to be tilted or strengthened in certain ways when we repeat movements. So we get bilaterally asymmetrical, and those asymmetrical interactions get between right and left get reinforced. So when you do twists, you don't just stretch them out individually like lateral poses do. Trikonasana first stretch the right side, then the left side, but they make you have to interact neurologically as well as structurally. It's like your right side brain has to interact with, usually it interacts with the left side of the body, but it has to start interacting with the right side just to make the twist happen. So you twists get confusing, but they also make your, how shall we say, they increase your neural connections. And I'm all for that. Class is ended. So you should think about the cross connectivity of the body, the parallels and the diagonals. See, when you reach this way, find out what's happening over here.
Yeah.
When you reach this way, find out what's happening over here, right? When your eyes are turned this way, what is this part of your brain doing, right? Think across the lines, not just in the direction your brain is turned, but think in the opposite direction, right? Have a look there. This is what twists do. My view is this is what all asana does, but twists do. I'm going way over time, but there's this really interesting thing that Gita made teachers do at one point. In this big demonstration, she made her senior teachers and beginner students walk backwards with their eyes closed. And the senior teachers had no trouble, no orientation trouble. The junior students, you could see they're hesitant about if somebody's in their way. Senior teachers, no problem walking backwards with their eyes closed. Really fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I'm going to try it.
It's fascinating. Try walking forward with your eyes closed before you go backwards.
I'll do it down the hallway so I have something on each side.
Right. Oh, and I gotta say, this was on a stage, a platform, right, with drop-off edges.
Oh, gosh.
Namaskar.
Namaste. Thank you, Devon.
Namaste.